Yeehaw, boy! It's Dodgy Yank Copper's time as we return to the world's wildest police chases 4. Well, actually, it's a really shit conversion of the decentest Jaleco coin-op Cisco Heat. Where every year in San Francisco, the police there, they get a bit bored of beating the shit out of black folks and cornholing drunks in the cells, and decide to race each other on the streets of San Francisco. Why? And as if that would ever happen? Well, you can blame the crazy Japanese game designers for that one. It's obviously inspired by classic car chase scenes in the movies filmed in San Fran, like Bullet and all that, with its famous for its dippy hills and great locations generally. So I suppose it's a good choice for a crazy game like this one. It's no more daft than Chase HQ, which it's obviously inspired by. One thing that makes me happy, you may have noticed on the box art and the title screen there, is that in the arcade they used a Nissan 300ZX for the car you're racing in, which is one of my favourite cars of all time, and possibly one I'll own next. I've owned this version, and unfortunately it looks like they've used the old Ford Victoria. You can see there, not the Nissan, more the classic American police car, so that disappointed me a bit. We're going to start the game. But talking about that Nissan, it leads me on to Chase HQ 2, actually, which that game actually does use a Nissan 300ZX, and the programming team behind this was and Chase HQ 2 was i.c.e. Why am I dribbling on about this and linking all that together? Well, Chase HQ 2. If you don't know, and if you don't sort of follow the sort of Amstrad scene, folklore and stuff like that, Chase HQ2 on kart released the GX4000. The Amstrad console is the basically the rarest game of all time. It's the holy grail of Amstrad games to own. It recently appeared on eBay and went for a staggering 900 quid plus. I actually bid on the game. That's a nice crash sequence there. We'll come on to this game actually in a second. Anyway, I actually bid on the game. I'm not telling you how much I bid, but I kind of a little bit thankful now that I didn't waste a huge amount of money on the game, because basically, according to Retro Gamer magazine, who have viewed and played the only other known copy of the game in existence, the Amstrad version of Chase HQ2 plays identical to the Spectrum version of the game. Now, the Spectrum version of Chase HQ2 was made by the same programmer as the Cisco Heat, i.c.e, or i.c.e, a Glaswegian programming team of freelancers who specialised in doing racing games, and they were all shit. Turbo Outrun, Hydra, Cisco Heat you're playing here, and Chase HQ2. So, dear viewers, if you're wondering why I'm banging on about that, well, it's probably pretty obvious. Cisco Heat plays identically to Chase HQ2 and the Spectrum and Amstrad versions of this game play identical, therefore the long lost holy grail of Amstrad games, Chase HQ2 is likely to be as awful as this game. So there you go. That's what I'm banging on about. So anyway, if you're the winning bidder and owner of the Chase HQ2 kart that was on eBay recently, and you're hearing me talking about it, then please do get in touch with me. We'd still like to be able to play the game, and we have the hardware to safely dump the ROM without damaging the kart. So you can contact me via YouTube messages and stuff, and also on the GX4000 site you'll find my email address there. Do get in touch and we can get the game safely dumped, get the hardware to you to do it with instructions. Won't be a problem. Anyway, blimey, we're about 4 minutes into the game now, and end of the first level. I haven't really talked much about the game. What is there to say? It's a really shit racing game. It's got nice colourful graphics. The music is absolutely dreadful. One channel music? Are you kidding me? Sound effects are pitiful. Uh, but as you've already seen in the game, basically it's not scrolling, but it's the what do you call it? Scaling and draw distance, as you know, things appear at you into the screen, is absolutely dreadful. I mean, it just sort of comes at you in chunks, making the game, you know, basically almost unplayable. It's so choppy, it's unbelievable. Actually, probably the worst example of this I've seen in a racing game. I mean, it does give you a good sense of speed, but you know, at the price of it moving nice and smoothly. They've probably obviously done that just to make sure the game doesn't sort of play too slowly. I don't know. I think I'd rather have taken a slower game with smoother, you know, scaling or whatever, than a faster game with just horrendous choppiness. Oh, and collision detection, just absolutely appalling. At some point, you know, at some points, you just drive through vehicles and obstacles, which you would have thought you would have crashed. Other times, you're driving around things, thinking you've left enough room, and suddenly you've crashed. You see there, a tram just appeared in the centre of the screen just for a brief millisecond. There's absolutely zero chance of me seeing that. And look at this. Look what happens here. Just gets stuck on that turn there for no reason whatsoever I can fathom. And we've lost all our places. This is an absolute shambles of a game. And if this is what Chase HQ plays like, then you know, perhaps no great loss to us all. And what's with the things at the side of the road there? Are they supposed to be blocks of flats and houses and skyscrapers? Just look at the height of them. If that's supposed to be a skyscraper, and it's not much taller than the actual car. Oh, just look at the collision detection there. Dreadful. So yeah, i.c.e, responsible for Hydra, Turbo Outrun, and Chase HQ 2. All of them are racing games. I have no idea how they managed to secure such, you know, top licenses for those arcade conversions, because all of them were absolutely terrible. All of them suffered from the same problem, which is basically the choppy scaling and scrolling, and appalling collision detection. Each and every one of them. Turbo Outrun is probably arguably probably their best, you know, job they've done. And I've done a video for that, and that'll be probably uploaded next, if I have enough time. But to be fair to them, they did manage to get really nice, colourful graphics in all their games. They managed to get music in there and sound effects, even if they were basically terrible. And credit where credit's due, it's actually reasonably faithful to the arcade original. So, you know, I think the nice colourful graphics and being reasonably faithful to the arcade original, I think for me just it gives it a few extra points and alleviates it up to maybe a 4 out of 10, or 4 out of 10 overall. I'm being pretty generous there. I forgot to mention the controls and the handling. Yes, the controls are terrible and horribly stodgy. Slow responding. Feels like you're manoeuvring a boat rather than a bloody nippy police car. Although I've played worse handling driving games, to be fair. Oh yeah, talking about controls, playing on joystick initially is completely pointless because you still have to use the keyboard to change gears because your fire button is only used for basically beeping your horn. You might hear it going beep beep occasionally. That's me hammering the fire button down. Presumably because it, as the instruction tells you, when you sound your horn, other cars should move out the way. But I'll be blowed if that actually happens. So it's absolutely bloody useless feature. Better off having the gears mapped to the fire button. There you go. That was me beeping the horn there, hoping he'd move. Just blind hope and that it might actually work and do something for me. But anyway, changing gears, found there's no point. Just stick in high gear all the time and leave it there. Even if you get knackered and you know, crash or whatever. There's no sort of like a turbo button or anything like that, like in Chase HQ or Turbo Outrun. Just your useless horn and your high and low gears, and you know it's pointless. Even starting off in low gear, moving up to high gear, just go straight in. So yeah, another massive black mark for this shambles of a conversion. Again though, it's nice crash animation. Difficulty wise, from stage 3 onwards, it does get really difficult. On these tight bends here, don't go, just judge your speed and don't go above 120 miles an hour, and you won't crash. Once you get used to that, you'll soon get the hang of this. But stage 3 onwards, it does get really difficult. Now there's 5 stages, and on each of the stages I've attempted to get first place in each of the stages, which is really difficult actually, especially the car that's puts me into second place, is usually out in front, is quite hard to catch actually sometimes, especially if he overtakes you right towards the end, if you crash. But as I discovered, it makes no difference if you complete each stage in first place or if you do in 8th position each game. All you got to do is basically get to the end of the level before time runs out. So, you know, if you finish last in every race, doesn't make a difference. So I feel like I've wasted a huge amount of time practicing to get this record of me finishing first in each race. Ugh. Oh well, it's done now. There's going to be a second part to this video with the two other levels. It wasn't going to fit in 15 minutes. I won't commentate on that. I doubt many of you bother watching the second half. There is an ending screen and ending music and all that. Oh, that's a spectacular finish. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the next part if you can. And see you on the next videos. Cheers.